you came from a large family, much like myself. Yours probably a little bigger, a little more extended. I didn't know your older sister well, but when we start from Jimmy on down, of course, your brother Stephen was more my age.
Yes.
But then you have a brother who's a judge. You have David, who's a doctor. We can go down the line. There was a lot of Hagens.
Yes.
So how'd the pecking order? How'd you get your serving of peas when you had so many hands passing the plate around? And your parents did a good job of making sure everybody was sort of well-rounded.
Yes, you know, my mother, Virginia Smith Hagen, she was from Waycross, Georgia. And I think Mom was in the she was Miss Georgia, and she won the Gator Bowl crown. And she was also, I believe, in the Miss America pageant in like 1949. And she was also Miss Charity Hospital. Well, when my mom graduated from high school, she said she got on a train to go to New Orleans to Charity Hospital and nursing school, and she said to look for a husband. That's what she told me. And so she found my dad. And you know, my dad looked like a movie star, and my mom looked like Elizabeth Taylor. And then my dad even had a first cousin who was Miss America in 1962. And so I tell my patients that, yeah, but Dr. Pat got the bald and the uglies. That's okay. Not all the genes can be passed through.
But that's what I love about you. I've been knowing you for a long time. You have this sense of humor that, now look, we can go down the Hagen line and there's this dry sense of humor. There's just, you never know when the delivery's coming, but it's coming at one point. Where'd y'all get that from?
Well, you have to have a sense of humor in a big family. You know, my mama had 6 kids in 8 years, and you know, truly, the unsung hero in our family is my sister Ellen. Yeah. And Ellen was basically Matt and I's second mama. Yeah. Okay? And Ellen is just a wonderful servant of the Lord. I've never seen someone who just continually takes care of others. She's volunteered at the Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center over at Terrebonne General. She was a lifelong nurse. She works for Hope for Animals. So Ellen was always taking care of us. And if our older brothers started to pick on us or anything, which boys will do, Ellen was the oldest, and then 5 boys in a row. I was the second to last, and Matt was the last. Ellen would look out for us. Right. And even to this day, when my father passed away in 2000, my mother passed away a few years ago, Ellen still looks out for all of us. Yeah. And I've never seen a lady that's just so selfless. You know, she's had some health issues and that are very difficult, but you go and you start talking to her, and the first thing she says is, tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your family's doing. Tell me how your work's doing. And so she really went from our childhood until now. She's like a second mother. And then all of us kind of look to Ellen in our family for that stability, that rock. Right. And Matt was the baby, so you know, he's a judge, and I think, you know, Matt's a real hero in our family to be in that line of work. But we have that on my mother's side. My uncle, Ben Smith, was a circuit court judge in Georgia, and her father was a judge. So Matt, that's where Matt got the legal genes.
All right.
And
you could always trace everything back to hereditary genetics and to find out where you fit in somewhere.
And you know, Stephen passed away when we were, I think 1971. And then you know, Jim has worked for many, many years for Cenac Marine, and David's been a wonderful physician in the area since 1987. So a lot comes from your upbringing of your mother and your father.